I'm going to be in Madison, West Virginia on June 2nd. We talked about it last week. The match is myself managing Demolition Axe and Grandmaster Sexy Brian Christopher against the Rock and Roll Express, Ricky and Robert, with Austin Idol, your boy Austin Idol, the universal heartthrob in the Rock and Roll Express's corner. And I talked about how that last week I found out that he asked the promoter, Gary Damron, to pay him $100 more than what he was paying me because he felt like he was the biggest star on the card, which that didn't sit too well with me. And I asked you to maybe get back with me and see or get back with him and see what the fuck he had in mind. Do you have anything to report? Why did he do? What does he have to say for him? What does Austin Idol have to say for himself, darling?
I have asked you week in and week out not to get me involved in this. I don't want to be in the middle of this, but what I can say, and I can certainly understand this, is that Austin Idol doesn't understand why you'd be so upset that he did a better job of negotiating than you did.
No, it wasn't a better job of negotiating because that would have been, he was going to talk to the promoter and get the amount of money he thought he was worth. He deliberately asked it because I was the highest paid individual, be quite honest, on the event up until the point where Austin Idol said, how much are you paying Cornette, and asked for $100 more. It was a specific, to me, a professional slap in the face.
You could take it however you wish.
Is Austin Idol, is his problem that he has sat down there for so long, down in South Carolina now is where he lives, right? And I saw him last year at the Charlotte Fan Fest, and he has wallowed. He's quite successful in the business world down there. He owns a pizza place. He has a rental property, whatever the fuck he's doing. He's quite successful, but he's not a public figure anymore down there. He can go out and eat unmolested, not like when I go out on the streets here in Louisville and people genuflect toward me practically because I put Louisville on the map. He's been wallowing in obscurity is what he's been doing down there.
Let's not go that far.
No, I'm just saying he doesn't get any more public attention anymore. He's not a public figure. So he wanted to go out to West Virginia. And by the way, I've always said that I love West Virginia is a beautiful state. It's just the people that ruin it because they're the ugliest fucking bunch of people I've ever seen in my life over there. And the redneck way that they build their buildings and their goddamn, never mind. Point is, he wanted to go up there to West Virginia and play star. He would turn the page, Bob Seger all over again. He wanted to go up there and play star, and he thought somehow that was going to gratify his ego. And now, how do you think when the negotiations for the finish of this little morality play we're about to do, when they start happening, where do you think that we're going to be on our side? Because Austin Idol thinks he's a bigger star than all of us, not only me, but also Demolition Axe and Brian Christopher. So, Ricky Robert, I think they picked the wrong horse to ride. And I was just hoping that he would give you some kind of story, some kind of explanation for whatever the fuck, for what he was thinking, that wouldn't make it difficult for us to do business in Madison, West Virginia on June 2nd.
I can't disclose to you what my private conversations with Austin Idol are, the same way I don't disclose to him what my private conversations with you are.
You do a show with him. I figured
it's not about Jim Cornette.
Has he not had the guts to comment on this publicly?
He's had a few comments. They haven't been public yet, but I have a feeling if you keep prodding him unnecessarily like this.
What his comments were, because mine were public, and I expect his to be also, if he wants to answer.
I think if you keep saying the things you've been saying, there's a pretty good chance there'll be some public comments soon. He's certainly not pleased that someone who he knows was always a fan of his is the term running their mouth may have been used. Okay.
Well, I was a fan of his back when I was a small child and he'd been on top for 15 or 20 years, but things have changed in the modern era. And, I'm sorry. And hey, I'm the last one to want to say, well, we got to change with the times. But, once that Idol got past the point where, he was eligible for fucking Social Security, Medicare, possibly, hopefully he has long-term care insurance in case anything happens. He is an elderly man putting himself in a professional athlete's position in Madison on June 2nd. Nevertheless, maybe you might have a little extra time. Like Charlotte and Richmond Fan Fest got canceled for me. You might have one less show to do a week after this event.
Wow.
Just something to think about, ponder over.
Well, look, here's what I could tell you. Austin Idol is usually busy in negotiations and business meetings all the time. So the hour that we take to record the show each week is really one of the very few free hours he has. I'm going to go out of my way to play him what you've just said here on the air. I don't think he listens to this show or any other show just because he doesn't have time, but I'm going to play him what you just said here.
Well, that's fine.
We'll see what he says. We'll see what he says.
All right. And maybe he'll have a lot more free time here coming up, except for the physical therapy to recover from anyway, but you do a show with him every week.
I do. And it's a fantastic show. Austin Idol Live, available at austinidolpod.com, iTunes, Stitcher, and everywhere else. I understand he has a very good deal he negotiated with iTunes that has been very beneficial to our show.
Oh, good. Hey, he ain't no negotiator like Swifty Flanagan. And I'll tell you, if you really want some entertainment, folks, the official YouTube channel that we possess, that we manipulate and operate here at the Experience, go ahead and plug that too, Brian.
Well, let me finish talking about Austin Idol Live, one of the most popular podcasts.
Oh, for fuck's sake, I thought you already had.
I just mentioned that it's out. I didn't say what was on the show this week.